scaring a lot of people right now, shaking a lot of people out. But should we really be that concerned? And an altcoin indicator like we've never seen before. Truly, this is the first cycle we've seen this happen. I think we need to pay very close attention to it. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. We're going to look at just Bitcoin price volatility, price action on the shorter term. I want to break some things down, what to pay attention to with where we are in the cycle right now. And then I want to dig into altcoins a little bit, talk about Bitcoin dominance, altcoin season, and really this Ethereum indicator that is just insanely bullish. It's one of the most obvious indicators in crypto. So let's start. And I want to preface, not to be too repetitive here, but I want to show you just a couple very quick clips to realize it's not even 2025 yet. And this guy, Trump, not even president just yet. Check it.
Today and
Before we get into that, welcome on into Blue Chip Crypto 3. Buckle up. We're about to take off. Now, Bitcoin today, as you know, is at 92,000. It went down a couple of percentages. Some people are freaking out. These are people that's just getting in the market. I've learned not to freak out. I've learned to dollar cost average and just keep buying and keep buying. Not financial advice, but I was in your shoe once until I learned how to be rock steady with the market. Now we're going to go over this content. This is brought to you by, this is a reaction audio video. And this right here is by the Venture Capital Crypto. I'm going to leave the link down below. Go check him out because I use him as far as sourcing. He's been rock steady as far as covering these topics, especially with crypto, even in the bear market. So he's a credible source to me. Not financial advice coming from me, hell, coming from him as well. You take your own risk, but let's go.
Bitcoin and crypto will skyrocket like never before, even beyond your expectations, and you are the people that are doing it.
This is Bitcoin conference. This was months ago, obviously back in summer. Trump went on to win the election, right? So he's not even in office yet, but we're getting very close, weeks away now. He went on to win, and he's saying crypto will skyrocket, Bitcoin will skyrocket. And if there's one thing I've learned watching Trump over the years, and I'm talking about from when I was younger, watching him and evaluating how he just kind of moves and runs in business. When he says he's going to do something, he goes aggressive. And check this clip out. Not months ago. This was like December 12th-ish.
So we're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head. So we're going to do.
So now here we are. This guy is going to be president, and he wants to absolutely win the Bitcoin and crypto race on a global scale. I think what is getting ready to happen is something that most people are just not anticipating, and I genuinely do not think it is priced in. Obviously, we're in this bull market, and here it is on the weekly. We've historically entered just almost identical move from a technical indicator on the Bitcoin chart. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about price action on Bitcoin, and then I want to talk about altcoin season. So here's Bitcoin on the weekly. Is it that bad? That's my first question. There's a lot of bearishness happening right now. The first things first, we've already identified the potential after getting this breakout for a throwback. And we have this inverse head and shoulders we've been tracking. We broke out of the neckline. It would be a normal technical move for Bitcoin to even go to like 80,000. Would it be nice? Would it be enjoyable? Would it be pretty? No, it wouldn't be. However, it would be very normal macro technical move, especially if we're entering this new era for crypto where there's a global governmental race to accumulate Bitcoin. And we do get some type of super cycle. A consolidation like that, maybe more steep than we've seen before, is very much in play. And I will sit here and remain bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. I will not get shaken out of my bullishness because of a dip like that. But let's dive into this move a little bit more even. So there's, some weekly downside that we have playing out right now. But if we go back to last cycle at this moment, and here's altcoin season, right? Kicking off. Here's altcoin season kicking off, Bitcoin pumping into that and then falling, Bitcoin pumping into that and then falling. If you were here last cycle, at this weekly candle, even at the low end of that red weekly candle right there, almost identical, reflective of where we are this cycle. Can you imagine how many people were so bearish right there? Right? It's over. The top is in.
Don't panic. Once again, don't panic. That's my advice. Now, I will be getting more. I will be getting more crypto because I noticed something. Bitcoin is expected, if it beats gold, not if it beats, when it beats gold from a mathematical point of view, it's going to be like 800,000 for one coin. Right now, we just at what, 10%? Or you can call it 20%. I look at it as being $1 million in a couple years when it flips gold. So let's just say we're at a 10% mark. Let's just say 100,000. We're still at the beginning of this thing. When XRP, side note, when XRP win its court case this year, I'm talking about everything is dismissed. The president is elected, everything else. People are stepping Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler have stepped down. What do you think is going to happen? XRP at least going to go to $20 to $50. And people are going to wish that they bought it. XRP is going to at least go to $20 to $50, and people are going to wish that they bought it. And even at $20, $50 later on, because this is the processor. Nothing don't work without the processor, right? RLUD just started. It's the first stable coin that allows you to, or allows the Federal Reserve, or allows you to get audited. So it's a credible source, it's a credible technology, not financial advice, but let's continue.
And if you zoom out on the chart, you can just see, hey, we did break the previous cycle all-time high of 20,000. Bitcoin went up to around 41,000. And I am so sure, I'll have to look back, but I am sure people were thinking that this was the top of the bull market and we're entering the bear market. And right now we're in a similar area, but we're not just evaluating the cycles of crypto and the timeline of it and the consistency and the repetition of bull markets. That's in play. That's happening. But right now we have this going on. And we have the first pro crypto president is not even in office yet. And historically speaking, we're not even in the parabolic phase of the bull market. So I remain very bullish on Bitcoin and crypto right now. And I just want to say, if you look at this chart even, and you look at this moment last cycle, right? We just looked at these weekly candles. Look what Bitcoin was also doing. Just falling out of overbought, even falling below this moving average line on the RSI, the slower moving momentum oscillator. And right now, we've not even gotten that overheated and overbought, and we're consolidating. We're out of overbought right now, which is, I think, very bullish. And we're just still above the moving average line. So everything that's happening on the Bitcoin weekly charts, you can spin it as bearish as you want, but it looks very commonplace to me. Now, for a short-term analysis, we can start evaluating, if we really want this cycle to repeat, Bitcoin would bounce off the 50-day moving average right around where Bitcoin is right now. If you go back to the move that we're kind of comparing to last cycle, you can see Bitcoin consolidated like pretty harshly, swing high to swing low, 30%, right to the 50-day moving average. We're currently like right in this move. So is that to say, and I asked myself this question kind of doing this, is that to say if Bitcoin fails at this 50-day moving average, it's game over? To me, absolutely not. Bitcoin right now is, from a technical analysis perspective, is simply consolidating. So yes, maybe we need to fall more on this RSI, the slower moving momentum oscillator, right? We're right now around 41. Interestingly enough, if you go back to this move last cycle at this time right here, you can see where the RSI bottomed just above where we are right now. So there's a very strong case Bitcoin could be bottoming right now. But if it doesn't, remember what is in play. This neckline of this inverse head and shoulders is there. It's a normal technical move. If Bitcoin is going to pull into closer to that neckline and let the 200-day moving average, pull into Bitcoin a little bit more, that is normal. And even on the weekly, if Bitcoin is going to kind of close that gap between the 20-week moving average and where Bitcoin is right now, it's a very bullish, higher, low type of move for Bitcoin. And I think as we kind of close out 2025 and close out 2024 and enter 2025, a consolidation like we're seeing is the most healthy thing for crypto bull market and altcoin season. And speaking of altcoin season, interestingly enough, on the daily chart on the Bitcoin dominance, you can actually see while crypto is kind of dipping right now, Bitcoin dominance is actually falling a little bit. This is getting a little bit critical on the daily chart. You can see Bitcoin made its move above all of these moving averages. We've been kind of evaluating to see if there was resistance at the 50-day, and there was not, but we are still putting in this lower high on Bitcoin. And if you go to the weekly chart on the Bitcoin dominance chart, here's what it looks like. So opening up the RSI, I think we get a little bit of a hint in terms of the strength of Bitcoin dominance right now. It is looking very similar to last cycle, meaning altcoin season kicks off, Bitcoin dominance starts falling. You can see that RSI start falling, tries to pull into that moving average line on the RSI, and then falls even more. We're kind of in that move right now where it falls out of overbought, gets that move to the upside right below this moving average line. And right now, is Bitcoin going to start falling into altcoin season? And speaking of altcoin season, there is some data that I want to talk about, everybody. It is Ethereum. It is the probably most important altcoin chart right now to pay attention to, especially if you're an altcoin holder.
Now, let me know in the comments what you guys hold and what altcoins do you guys hold? Is it Ethereum? Is it Dog? Is it Cardano? ADA? Is it HBAR? Let me know what you hold. Is it a Pepe? Is it Dogecoin? Let me know what you hold in the comments and why do you hold it? Because it's not what you hold. I want to know the reason why you hold these things so we can see if it's a good enough reason for you to even hold these things. What utility do your coin have? Does it solve any major problem in the space? Is it a meme coin, meaning that it's a quick pump and a quick dump? Let me know. Let's continue.
And if we look at this data, we have this account Titan of Crypto, Ethereum local bottom forming. And it's just, he's noting that the negative comments on Ethereum, I guess, are becoming a little bit more loud. And this often, from a sentiment perspective, signals a bottom. Here's the data, though. Whales bought 340,000 ETH in the last 96 hours, worth more than $1 billion. This was a couple days ago, but just notice, while Ethereum is dipping, there are whales buying. But more notably so, here is data that I just posted on my X account. BlackRock's Ethereum ETF now holds over 1 million ETH. This data paired with the fact that ETH is still consolidating below.
Whoa. BlackRock Ethereum ETF now holds over 1 million ETH. They say ETH is projected to go to $15,000 to $20,000, right? $15,000 to $20,000. Right now it's at, let's just say, $3,300. That's a 3 to 4x. Now, when that goes off, what else? What other things y'all think is going to go off as well? Everything that's built on it, correct? So why will BlackRock, one of the hedge funds, one of the greatest capitalistic society in the world, or organization in the world, why would they invest in something that's not going to gain profit, or something that they don't want to control? The question would be, are you on the right side of history or the wrong side of history? Leave your thoughts down below.
All-time highs, an altcoin season indicator like we've never seen before.
I treated myself to a wild Alaskan company membership, and my only regret is that I didn't do.
A Bitcoin bull market indicator like we've never seen before is something like this. Is something like the race of governments to accumulate Bitcoin, the Bitcoin reserves not even in place yet. The speculation of it is there. An altcoin indicator like we've never seen before is this. Institutions scooping up Ethereum. And you might be like, well, what's going on? Why is price not reflecting that? We're still below all-time high. Couple things. This time last cycle, Ethereum was just testing all-time highs. Not like Ethereum was just parabolic already, right? And then the more important thing is this. If you remember, Bitcoin ETF came into play. It's not like Bitcoin immediately broke all-time high. If you remember, it was not that long ago on the Bitcoin weekly chart where Bitcoin was just like trickling down and to the right for like 8 months. People just like, man, I thought we had this Bitcoin ETF. I thought there was institutional demand. What is all this lame consolidation? And then boom. This, I think, is what's happening with Ethereum. What is all this lame consolidation with Ethereum right now? And then eventually, and I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week or late January, eventually, I think Ethereum is going to absolutely explode. I think that will be the piece of altcoin season I think really most people are waiting for. That is to say, this move from last cycle. And I don't know when it's going to happen. I just very much think it's going to happen. We have to be prepared for every scenario, everybody. I don't mean to be overly bullish, but I pieced together all of the data, and to me, it just looks normal. And even as crypto is dipping, now is the time to really, I think, evaluate the bull cases and not get so easily trapped by, man, this is just a top. Look at that weekly. This is a reversal on the macro. We're falling into a bear market, because I just do not see that we are falling into a bear market just yet. And if you look back here, once again, did these 2 weekly candles mean we were falling into a bull market? Absolutely not. This was right before Bitcoin exploded to new all-time highs and right before altcoin season really started to kick off. So these are my thoughts as we start the week. Going to continue tracking crypto. We know there's...
And I agree with your thoughts. I agree with your thoughts. Let me know if you guys agree with the Capital Venture crypto. Let me know if you agree with it. Blue Chip Crypto, I agree with your thoughts, because a lot of people they don't know what's going on right now. They fresh to the market. They don't understand that institutional investors are here to stay. They're playing the long game while most people are playing the short game. But leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe to the channel. Blue Chip Crypto 3, buckle up. It's time to take off.